Hello all. I'm having a bit of wondering if maybe I should not reveal the real name of a character from earlier, the Lady Light from the earlier chapter, but I like to use the real names of characters. We're switching to a different point of view from D and his people for a little while. It's something that writers often do to break up the story. You'll notice when you see a story, it's often broken up into multiple point of views. Yeah, well, that's what I'm doing here for a little bit. We're not slowing down the action, not a slight bit. Okay, let's see. Private Dobin Tuck and his squad his National Guard squad were one of many sneaking their way through the industrial part, the industrial neighborhood, Iron Halls, industrial neighborhood of Libertyburg, nicknamed Iron Halls. It was one of the oldest parts of the city, and it was one of the most industrialized parts of the country at the time when it was still a Chromish colony. It made sense then. Breaking away from Chromia resulted in a war. So it made sense that the rebels made Libertyburg an industrial center as their capital. And during the war, Libertyburg remained safe from capture, even while many other rebel strongholds, including most of Buffalo State, fell to the Chromish Redcoats. These dastardly Redcoats. Someday I'm gonna write a book about them swine. I'll kill them by the goddamn metric ton with those old rifles that fire one shot every minute. Those will be very long shootouts, I think. Let's see, it fell to the Chromish Redcoats. Safe and secure, from infantry, produced the mountain of the ammo, weapons, and supplies that the rebels needed to stay equal with the Redcoats. Eventually, the Redcoats bled in battle to the point where continuing the war, where the king, the Chromish Parliament, didn't think continuing the war was in their country's interests. So the war ended after the last decisive battles, such as the liberation of Buffalo City and the capture of the Chromish National Armory, located on the Zuna River. Both being some of the bloodiest battles of the war. Tuck, a history buff, would have loved to talk to some of his ancestors from those days who fought in the war and saw many of the grand historic battles. One wrote a memoir, but it was pretty poorly written, even by the standards of those 1700s and the late 1700s. I'm definitely gonna write a Revolutionary War story eventually. That's just too tempting, too delicious. Let's prospect. Let's see, but even by the standards of the late 1700s. And Tuck, imagine just sitting down, talking to the writer would have been much better than trying to decipher the old book. I felt a bit trying to translate ancient runes on the walls of some tomb in Egypt. Tuck supposed he should have been happy just to have been happy there were still copies of the book in existence. Tuck wondered how much money the author made of it. Well, I said it's gonna be action-packed, and apparently I am a liar now, so let's see. Tuck was following. Tuck wasn't just following footsteps of his esteemed ancestors of the Revolutionary War. He was also following in his father's footsteps. Forgot to add the junior here. His namesake, Delvin Tuck the First. Who had served proudly in both World War III and World War IV after the failure of D-Day against the Bloodkins. He joined some Sicilian underground, continued to fight like the battlehead, like the bulk of his comrades hadn't been captured or killed. And in World War IV, he joined a special forces unit known as Black Glove. Black Glove that conducted many important missions during the war, and at various times had some very important, very well-known members, such as Arlen Richington and Lady Dominique Richington, and the Commando Prima, later the first female president of the USZ. Of them, Tuck's father spent the most time with Prima and was one of her right-hand men, the kind of man, older she could depend on, and did depend on, right up till the organizations, till the group's last operations on the Jade continent. in 0049. Tuck's father was a warrior, but was surprised to have survived the war. He went home to Zeta, married his girlfriend, who he hadn't seen in person in nearly 5 years by then. In the flesh. Wonder where that phrase came from. In the flesh. You have a disease in the flesh. Let's see. They made up for lost time, if you know what I mean. And in 0050, Tuck Jr. was born. Almost said Cuck Jr. Huh. Elvin Tuck was 17 in 0057 when this fierce battle for the capital was playing out. He had done well in basic, becoming a skilled marksman, though not skilled enough to go into sniper training school. Dobin was not, didn't view himself as sniper material, but he supposed soldier's blood flowed in his veins. He was known as Junior in the squad, and got that nickname from their sergeant, one Rumson Kahan, who also came from a long line of soldiers. Then there was the second in command, Corporal Tommy Hunt, who was smaller, who didn't have any soldiers among his ancestors, who was quite brave and was quite brave in general, was quite brave and calm under pressure. The squad had been bloodied by earlier fighting in the streets. They moved as a small part of a great swarm of soldiers that took back several large squares and secured a great bank of the Potomac far from, and that flowed through Libertyburg. I call it Libertyburg by accident. Liberty Bird. Yeah, but didn't secure a bridge. Or the bridges to cross it. The Potomac. The squad lost 3 guys, 2 killed, 1 wounded, all victims of snipers. 2 of the men died very close to Dobbin, and he wondered why he survived. They went down. Dobbin supposed he felt a bit like his father, baffled that he saw so much violence, and he had survived it. Dobbin wondered his esteemed ancestors. Esteemed ancestors of the Revolutionary War Gotta capitalize that. And how make sure I don't accidentally call it Revolutionary Wars. That would be alt history. I'm interested in maybe doing alt history of that war, but you know, so people know so little about the war as it actually played out that it would probably seem like alternate history to them. I wonder if his esteemed ancestors of the Revolutionary War felt similarly. The Revolutionary War. Revolutionary War was not a particularly bloody conflict. Not particularly bloody conflict, especially compared to the Vermont wars of this century. And most of the participants who died were killed by disease. Disease and captivity. All in captivity. Not on the battlefield. Your bad luck. Corporal Hunt said to Dobin while they were approaching the industrial district on foot. And Dobbin asked innocently, two guys died in front of you, Junior. Hunt replied. They're not. They were buddies of mine. How come they went to the big pie shop in the sky? Well, you're still here. Melvin wondered why Hunt sounded so angry with him. And he should have been angry with the terrorists responsible. Dubin reacted coolly. I don't know why I'm still alive, Dobin admitted. But to give me some time, and maybe the enemy will correct that. Yeah. No way. Hunt shook his head. You have that air about you, man. An air? Dobin thought. What the hell did that even mean? Yeah, you're gonna get through. Let's fight this little battle without a scratch. Clarified. Either of us is dead by the end. It'll be me. Okay. Open. Slide. Owen saw himself. Pictured himself dead in a body bag, partially zipped up with his blank, lifeless face exposed. He saw Corporal Hunt looming over him, almost like a mourner before a coffin. Maybe a coffin about to be lowered. Well, you proved me wrong, Dobin. Dobin imagined Hunt saying, that you really didn't have that air about you after all. I'm gonna cut back. I guess we'll see which of us is going home and which isn't. He said grimly. That seemed to scare off Corporal Hunter. Hunt, not Hunter. Eleven p.m. outside of the Denon Gredon. Small parts factory. Okay, we'll end here, ladies and gentlemen. See ya.